Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to this first episode of Bridging the Gap with the junior professionals of the Youth Employment Solutions team. I'm Jessica Herrera and I'm the Digital Development Officer and Soy Regional Focal Point for Americas. Happy to be here with you this morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are right now. And really happy to be sharing with you for a few minutes my key learnings and maybe tips that can be useful for you in terms of effective communication. I know that when we talk about effective communication, we've all attended a training or a webinar or we've read about it, and it's something that keeps on coming on in different conversations, like how can I manage my team better? How can I be a better team player? It's something that keeps on coming on. I'm not going to give you a list of things that you already know. I'm not going to be giving you any checklist or these are the things that you should accomplish in order to achieve effective communication. We've all heard things like flexibility or appreciation, and we've heard like have a genuine conversation, manage expectations. These are terms that we constantly hear when we talk about effective communication. What I want to share with you, it's something that has been useful for me in the different types of teams that I've had the pleasure to work with, but also different learnings that the mentors that I've had, that I've worked with, have taught me along the way. When it comes to what leads to effective communication, there are three things that I've learned through my mentor and current boss, hi John, which are first, how do you build a sense of community? Not just community as in the big scope of plan or the big scope of the regional office, but we could also think of community as the team, the subunits. Second is how do you bring value? Understanding that every person is different, every person comes with their own strengths and weaknesses, so how do we complement each other and appreciate each other's differences? And third is how can you work together better? These three questions and lessons are three key things that I feel are important when it comes to what leads to effective communication. You might be thinking, yes, Jess, thank you. You've given us three more questions in the big scope of the effective communication. Now I have three more things to think about. But in this video, what I want to leave with you is one possible answer for all three, or maybe more questions. And it might be a potential solution for those challenges on effective communication that leads to challenges in managing teams or challenges in being a team player. So this one thing that I'm going to be talking about today, it's called empathy. Empathy belongs to emotional intelligence and together with self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, social skills, empathy is the fifth component. And personally, I feel like it's the most important one, which is why I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about it. Now you might be thinking, great, this next chapter in the video is going to be all about feelings and how I can share my feelings better with my teammates. Not specifically. I'm talking about empathy in the context of effective communication because empathy is the foundation for the trust that strengthens relationships. And when we talk about relationships, we talk about how we interact with our teammates, how we interact with the manager, how we interact with our department, but also how we interact with our partners, how we interact with our communities. It's all based in empathy because this empathy is what's going to make those relationships stronger. Empathy has three stages. The first stage is cognitive empathy. This is where I understand how a person might think or feel. So for example, as a teammate or as a manager, I can understand what are the different things that keep my team motivated, or how I can understand if a person's having a bad day and what type of approach I should have in order to keep the team working together. The second stage is emotional empathy. This is where I take it to a deeper level. This is where I have the ability to share and understand the feelings of another person. This is not only me understanding, but this is also where I create a genuine rapport. This is where trust is built. This is where I'm able to understand, not only in the case of crisis or challenges or problems or negative emotions, this is also where I'm able to understand my strengths and the team's strengths and my teammates' strengths and the weaknesses, and how we can balance each other and how we can work together in order to contribute to the team's goals. And number 3, we have compassionate empathy. This is a more active area or stage of empathy. This is where not only I understand the feelings, I understand the strengths, the weaknesses, but this is where I think of the approach. What's the best approach given this situation? How can we resolve the issue? What are the different angles that I can consider in order to be able to tackle this better? Or how can we perform better if I change my approach? So this is where I take action. When it comes to applying the 3 different stages of empathy at work, we can already pinpoint very specific action steps that I can take in order to be a better team player, a better manager, having an open mind, being flexible, coming from a place of understanding what works for me might not work for another person. The approach in the way I communicate might be different according to different people. If I work with different cultures, this might also come in a factor. Personally, I've noticed that empathy and how that influences my communication has been changing my approach in the different teams that I've been part of. I started in a partnership manager role, I changed to influencing, and lastly now I'm in the digital development team. And it's from a place of empathy where I try to understand where can my teammates give value and then we can work better together, but also how we build this sense of community and we strengthen our community. Thank you so much again for joining me. I hope you're having a good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are. I'm here checking out from Panama. This is Jessica Herrera, and I hope you stay tuned for the next episodes of Bridging the Gap with the young professionals of the Youth Employment Solutions team. See you next time. Bye.